Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on Life. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So I just want to share some of my reflections as we are now commemorating 22 years from September 11th, that disastrous, terrible day. There's so much to say, and I don't even know where to begin. But just one thought that came to my mind, something that connects to this week as it is on the Jewish calendar, preparing and getting into line, as you'll hear in a moment, in preparation for Rosh Hashanah. You see, just as it was that year when this terrible tragedy occurred, this year too, 9/11 falls out in the week when the entire Jewish world recites what's called selichot. Selichot means forgiveness. This is the time we say special prayers prior to the morning prayers, meaning you wake up extra early and beseech God for forgiveness, to clean away our sins. Now, if you think about it, nothing is by coincidence. Everything is by divine providence. What is the message here? That on the very day that this occurred, and again this year when we commemorate it again, it falls out in the week when we recite these special prayers asking God for forgiveness. If you think about it, what is the idea of asking God for forgiveness? First and foremost, the human being, to ask for forgiveness means that he or she needs to admit that they're not perfect, that they're not the best. In other words, this requires a good dose of humility to realize that even though I may generally be right and correct, but there are some things that, hey, I'm not perfect in. I need to ask forgiveness. Perhaps I have done things wrong. Perhaps I haven't always been right. And if you think about it, this does not suggest that when a person asks forgiveness, that they are totally wrong, meaning that their ideology or that their way of life is wrong. It's just saying that within their way of life, within their ideology, they're not perfect. And actually, this is not a negative thing. This is a positive thing. This is a reminder that we're all human beings. We all have shortcomings. We all have weaknesses, and we're all not perfect. And I think that's the most perfect thing about us. See, how does this connect to 9/11? You see, when you have a people that are so convinced that their way is the right way, their way is the correct way, their way is the only way, and that drives them to do such terrible atrocities, such that hurt other people, that bring destruction and havoc upon other human beings and upon the world, that tells you that this is an extreme level of arrogance, that they don't have the capacity to think, hey, I know my way is correct, my way is right, but I'm not perfect. And if I'm not perfect, how can I expect the person near me to be perfect? And how could I, moreover, fight against that person for not being what's perceived in my eyes as perfect? So you see, God's message is, at least one of the many messages in this, it's okay to be proud of what you believe in. It's not only okay, but it's encouraged. You should be proud. If you follow the Torah, you follow God's words, you should be very, very proud, but never arrogant. This does not give you a passport to hurt others. It doesn't even give you a passport to look down on others. It gives you actually an encouragement to try to bring others closer in a pleasant and kind manner. Enlighten them. Give them encouragement. Try to teach them if it's doable. If you see that there's a wall, a blockage, then don't, engage, because that's going to create and that's going to generate, that is, a negative response. And that's also not a good thing. That's not necessary. And not only it's not necessary, but it could be totally wrong because it can bring to unnecessary negative feelings between two human beings. So in short, are we certain about our way? Absolutely. Does that give us a right to hurt others? No, on the contrary, that gives us every encouragement to try to teach others, to try to enlighten others. Why? Because I'm not perfect myself. And therefore, I cannot expect the next person near me to be perfect, or else